Hello friends, I welcome you once again to Achilinks Travel Consultancy channel, where we talk about English proficiency exams and other proficiency tests. Now today we are going to talk about IELTS, one of the modules which is speaking. Speaking test is very important, very easy to pass, but very tricky. So the most important thing for us to know is for us to build ourselves within the areas of assessment. We should understand that in the speaking test, in all the other models of the IELTS, you will be measured or you'll be assessed within the 4 areas of assessment, of which we are going to talk about today. The first area of assessment is fluency and coherence. Now, fluency has to do with the measure of your ability to speak without a lot of pauses or hesitation. Now let's talk about the hesitation. There are 2 areas of hesitation. The first part or the first form of hesitation is language or vocabulary hesitation. Now this has to do with your inability to come up with immediate words to express yourself or express a particular idea. The next one has to do with facts or ideas hesitation. This also has to do with your inability to come up with facts and information on a particular topic of discussion. Now, these 2 hesitation or pauses are very fluent or very frequent when you are talking about unfamiliar things. Now, when you talk about something that you don't have much information about, you lack certain words to describe it. When you talk about things that you are not too familiar with it, you lack certain words to describe that idea. So, in order not for us to suffer the hesitation, these 2 types of hesitation, we have to talk about familiar things. For instance, if you are asked to talk about a place you have visited as a tourist, you don't have to go all the way back to your olden days when you traveled to a particular tourist site. Every place can be a tourist site for everybody. So talk about any place you visited at all. It can be a tourist site, so that the level of hesitation will reduce or will be nullified. It is important that we place a lot of emphasis on what we say and how we say it. So fluency and coherence, one of the areas of assessment. The first area of assessment. Now the next one is lexical resource. Now lexical resource has to do with your vocabulary, the amount of words that you have in your pocket. Now when I say the amount of words you have in your pocket, I mean the number of words you can dangle around with, especially when you are expressing an opinion, an idea, or passing an information to someone. So you have to know how to use those vocabularies or those words that you have or you have to know when to use them, because they don't only measure your ability to use the words around, but its accuracy in usage. That is also one thing you have to pay attention to. The other thing is that you have to also know how to speak grammatically correct. Speak grammatically upright. You have to be very good in grammar, because I normally call grammar as the rail for English language or the highway for English language, because it is on that particular rail or highway that every expression in English will travel. So you have to know the right tense, the number of vocabularies, and then how it is used grammatically correct in your expression. That is something you have to consider when you are speaking. Now, the last area of assessment is pronunciation. Pronunciation, I normally describe pronunciation as the color of English. Now, this color of English is dependent on how you paint it. Now, painting, I mean how you pronounce it. So, if there is a word that you pronounce it differently, it changes the idea in the sentence or in the expression that you are making. Therefore, we have to be very mindful of what and how we pronounce our vocabulary or our words, because no matter the number of vocabularies that we have, no matter the number of words that we have, if we don't pronounce them right, if you don't pronounce them well, it will always change the idea that we are trying to pass or put across. So we have to learn how to speak right, and that is why we have to base our practice, our techniques on the areas of assessment. Build yourself around these 4 areas of assessment, which is fluency and coherence, lexical resource, grammatical accuracy, and then pronunciation. Learn how to speak well by pronouncing words right. Learn how to speak well by using variety of vocabularies to spice up your speech, to spice up your information that you pass to a person in English. Or learn how to speak well by using several words and making sure that you speak fluently. Now, in order for us to avoid the hesitations in our delivery, we have to talk about familiar things, as I've stated earlier. Every question should be familiar to you. Now, even if you don't know anything about, or you have less idea about it, you have to describe something in place of the actual, so that you will be familiar with the information that you need to express yourself, and then you can have the right words to talk about it. So all the time, tell us about your family. You know you've lived with your family for a very long time, but you can talk about your family such that you will never have any, or you will not have any level of hesitation in your speech. Tell us about the place you visited as a tourist. You can talk about the place that you have visited, or describe your house as a tourist site. It doesn't really matter whether you speak the truth or whether you lie, but your expression should always fall within the 4 areas of assessment. This is what I bring to you today. Speaking test. Let's speak right by practicing our vocabularies, by speaking and then constructing the right grammatical sentences, and then pronouncing words the right way, and speaking fluently by referring to familiar things. One other thing I want to leave you with is you have to talk about things or use words that you understand. We know we should have a lot of vocabularies, but if you use unfamiliar words, or you use words that you don't even understand, it changes the context and how you express yourself. You become confused in the way. So try to use words that you are very familiar with. You know the word, you understand the word, and you can use the word, or you've used the word before, so that it becomes easy for you to express yourself. Thank you very much. I would like you to subscribe to this channel. Then I hope to meet you some other time. Then we talk more about English proficiency. Let's speak right with IELTS practice. Thank you for watching.